Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará yìí.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Hello there. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun live, and I am live on Facebook, live on YouTube, at the same time live on sorry about that. That's a bit of an interruption there. So thank you very much for joining me. So from wherever you're watching from, you can also join me live on Diaspora Radio International. Okay. So thank you so much for joining. And you can share the broadcast too. Yes, the link to Diaspora Radio International .com is right there in the caption of the video. So you have been following the news. Great. And I have been kind of thinking, because in Yorubaland there is something they call Ti ikutoban pa ojugba eni, owe lo npa funi. We have seen how they are promoting sponsorship and funding of terrorism, banditry. How Gumi came out to tell us that they can go to the central bank and print the money to release everyone kidnapped by the terrorists. The sad thing is that Gumi can locate the terrorist, but the Nigerian security or the Nigerian authority, they can't locate the terrorist. Then I was thinking that what if we wake up one morning and the breaking news is that they have kidnapped 20 school children, 40 school children, and the bandits that kidnapped them in Yorubaland, they are demanding for 800 million naira. Who is going to make that payment? Let me tell you what this whole situation has become and why you should be worried. On Maiyegun's diary, see, that is why we are not really bothered whether you like Maiyegun or you don't like Maiyegun. It's not really an issue, because I can share my own view. You always have your own views. But the opportunity of Maiyegun's diary is for us to all mix, to review all our views, learn and unlearn or relearn what we believe we have learned before, using logic and not emotion to judge situation and possibly predict the end result. That is what we do on Maiyegun's diary. It is not a sheepish platform where people just come in and listen and just, act like dumb. That is why whenever we open the line on Maiyegun's diary, you can listen to those people's views too. As contrary as it may sound, but the ability to come together and listen to one another. That is what we do on Maiyegun's diary. I don't even consider myself as that so intelligent or anybody who knows a lot. But I am so happy the fact that the little I know, I'm able to share with so many people who know more. And because they can agree more with the little I have managed to share with them for over the years, that grew the base of Maiyegun's diary, Politico, worldwide. So it's not because Maiyegun is intelligent, that special. No. And it is the ability to think, critical thinking, things that you can put together and they won't make any sense to you. So even if when people are speaking grammar, and all of that, to confuse you, logic, critical thinking can tell you that whatever they throw at you, it is easier for you to detect the lie. And that is what kind of separates many of us from others too. It's not because they can't think. And it is easier to predict what the end result will be. In a country where as many people are being killed every day, not just the civilians, including the security forces, military, soldiers, being butchered by terrorists, that we are being told to tread with caution, be careful, and all that. Every day. And no single one, the world sees that, by the way, no single one of them has been prosecuted for just one single crime that happens in that country every day. I mean, among hundreds of crimes. Rather, we are witnessing a complete anarchy, a complete, non-existent government. You now have so many governments controlled by so many people that we have no idea, and controlling so many parts of Nigeria. And there you are. They want you to continue to believe that the government is capable of controlling that. And there you are. For 6 years, you watched everything deteriorated to the point that the world actually acknowledged the ongoing genocide in Nigeria. They acknowledged it as a jihad, a form of jihadist terrorism disguised in different form, and they have circled Nigeria. Even the whole world have no clue how to help Nigeria. But yet, the criminals who brought this upon you continue to tell you to believe. But critical thinking should tell you who is going to help Nigeria? You or the people that are aiding and abetting the criminals and fighting, defending them, giving them airtime on their different national television, people defending terrorists on national television, giving reasons why they are doing what they are doing. And then you should ask yourself, okay, who is going to help us beg Bokwari to print money when they take our own children in Yorubaland? Oh, it's never going to happen, Baba, forget it. I am not going to forget it, because many of you told us that the issue of kidnapping, killings of farmers by others, as what they disguised as farmers others clashes, which is actually a terrorism, an ethnic terrorism, ethnic cleansing, genocide going on in Nigeria, is already acknowledged out there. But they are telling you to play down. No, it's not that bad. Telling you to wait to be killed right before your eyes. When you get kidnapped, who is going to pay that 10 million? Who is going to pay that 20 million? When these terrorists decide that they go beyond raiding your farms, killing, ransacking villages, communities, the campaign of terror, fear, which has now spread all over the country. Nowhere is safe, right? Who is going to raise that 10, 20 million? The Greenfield University students kidnapped by this Kaduna terrorist that have their own spokesperson in Gumi. They are asking for 100 million now. Anyway, a family paid them 20 million yesterday and they released their son to them. The breaking news today was that the College of Forestry and Mechanism kidnapped in Kaduna about 2 months ago, that they have released about 20 of them too. After what? After printing money to pay the terrorists. Now, here is where the problem lies. When they tell you that you are overreacting, when you ask that if this is what Nigeria is, and they are telling you to go and pray about it, it is better to break up the whole thing and let everybody deal with the problem that Nigeria has created for them. Let the Yorubas deal with the problem, because whatever is happening in Yorubaland is created. Every problem, the underdevelopment, the poverty, is created by Nigeria, and that's our own share of the mystery. You see those criminals who are representing Yorubaland in the project Nigeria, they are our own share of the rot of what Nigeria has made Yorubaland. So we will deal with that. If they continue to tell us that we don't have option, because that's what they are saying. We don't have option. You don't have option. You either take it or you leave it or you die questioning it. Who is going to pay that 800 million? Who is going to print the money? Obviously nobody. As long as the children of the likes of the governors, senators, reps, and all these top politicians, as long as their children are not going to be in those public schools that terrorists will kidnap and demand for ransom. In the part of northern Nigeria today, they have turned it, and let me just tell you this is not just an ethnic war. It is actually a system of Islamic jihadist war that does not even spare those of you who are also Muslims. This is where everybody should be worried. According to these guys, they considered those who are not practicing their own style of Islam. You'll be asking that who? The Fulani terrorists killing people everywhere, using the different excuses like, oh, we need land to graze, or we need our cows, we need to feed our cows. All those excuses and all of that, they are just pure distractions. They consider us infidels. And it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Even if you are, in fact, let me tell you how worse it is. Even if you are a Fulani, and they consider you that your type of Fulani or your own type of Islam is not sanctified or approved by them, they will kill you too. That's what they are doing in northern Nigeria. So when they tell you that they are killing Awusas, killing the Kanuris, killing everybody right there, they are killing those they considered as infidel, even when they are Muslims. When you are Christian, forget it. That one is going on and documented. Tens of thousands of people massacred, butchered, no justice, no nothing. People are being compensated. These terrorists are being compensated by those who have the authority to stop them. Now, in Yorubaland, according to this guy, Nigeria is meant to be a country of Uthman Dan Fodio. And now, listen to this. There are so many northern, northern people, so to say. I'm not going to say just northern now. I'm talking about this Uthman Dan Fodio descendant, those who identify as that, right? That simply because of that attachment that the Fulani terrorists continue to propagate, they have intention of institutionalizing and enforcing their own style of Islamic worldview. Somebody sent me an email and he said, Maiyegun, I love what you do. I actually so enjoy what you are doing, to the point that I am one of your ardent followers. You might be watching me right now. In that message, he said, I want you to please avoid discussing pastors, discussing religion, discussing this and that. And I would have replied. But again, if you have been a regular follower on Maiyegun's Diary Politico, I have always been very clear, right? There is no area or there is no boundary that I can cross. And I'm always very, very clear that if I have to talk about that thing that affects you, I want you to drop the veil of that your own religion. It is personal. When I'm talking about those whose actions in the past or present affect multitude, right? I will go straight to them. Very clear of who I'm talking about. Now, when you now have to use that your own religion to take offense, then that is not my own problem. Do you get that? That is where the logical, critical thinking comes in. Do you get that now? Your religion is personal and it is respected. But can we say these terrorists are not shouting Allahu Akbar? Can we say these terrorists are not forcefully converting the areas they consider that they have conquered in northern Nigeria? Are they not forcefully converting people to Islam, their own Islam, right? Does avoiding or does talking about it exactly that the way it is makes you feel offended? Right. When I talk about fake pastors that used your own religious belief, take advantage of the emotion that you attach to your faith and deceive you, tell you that he heard from God. And because you are so strong in faith, you believed him. Somebody like me came out and said, whatever he's saying is rubbish. He's not hearing from any God. And you take offense in that. Now, let me say this. You are not actually different from the person I'm talking about. It simply means if you have the same audacity, the same confidence, you will propagate the same message. When terrorists come out to shout Allahu Akbar, should we just say, oh, we don't want to offend our genuine Muslim brothers and sisters? Because talking about Allah is insulting. Or associating Allah with these terrorists is insulting. Oh, don't talk about, just say it the other way. Be politically correct about, I don't want to be offended. It is simply because everything I'm going to say will offend you because you're actually not different from them. If you have the same opportunity, you will do the same thing. And here is the problem. They have their own clear-cut workbook of who is a Muslim or who is not. And they are punishing those they considered as infidel. And in Nigeria, they said Uthman Danfodio, who staged a jihad in 1804 and took over, killed all of the tribal leaders, all the local leaders of different ethnic tribes in what is today's northern Nigeria. And after the conquest, after the war, the jihad, he replaced all those heads, all those community heads, all those tribal heads. He replaced them with emir, sultan. These were not in existence before 1804. Now, the people who have that idea and they attached it to Islam, that because Uthman Danfodio is their progenitor, and that idea of ransacking villages, killing everybody that disagreed with them, installing and enforcing their own idea of what is called Islam on multitude, and change since then. And changed them to what they are today. That idea is actually meant for the whole Nigeria. Now, if somebody said that, and Uthman Danfodio, a jihadist, and Islam, they are put together beside each other. And somebody is beating his chest, because I say, when a Boko Haram comes out and he says, we need a caliphate. Their message is very clear. We need a caliphate where Sharia will be practiced. And that is their message. They said that is why they are killing people, right? Boko Haram came in that they were going to crush the terrorists, killing people because they want to make everybody their own type of Sharia Islamic. They have killed people for it. They have sent thousands of videos to prove that their message is very clear. There was a time that Shekau was the caliphate in Borno. You remember, there was a video of Shekau when they took over Borno. Shekau was praying inside the mosque in Borno prior to 2015 election. You remember? It is the same message. So if somebody now says, Uthman Dan Fodio promised them that they are going to dip sword in the ocean of Lagos, what does that mean? They will dip the sword in the ocean of Lagos after they must have killed all the infidels. Who are the infidels? We. But remember, Nigeria was not in existence in 1804. There was no Nigeria. But they were able to conquer between 1804 and 1817. They were able to conquer vast land of what is today's northern Nigeria, Sokoto Caliphate. But there was no Nigeria. They attempted to cross. We fought them. We resisted them in Oshogbo. You know the story. The agenda was the same, right? Now, fast forward to 1877, when the last base of the Yoruba land fell into the hands of the colonialists. And the final step of uniting the northern and southern Nigeria in their project in the 1900s began. Now, after that, there was an arrangement that the Sokoto Caliphate, Uthman Dan Fodio was long dead then. But he's already, he was like what you have today as the Sultan. You see that Sultan you see today? That was what Uthman Dan Fodio was after killing everybody in today's northern Nigeria, right? He made himself Sultan. Then he appointed emirs. So, appointed all of them as heads in those areas they conquered. So, when Uthman Dan Fodio died as the first Sultan, he may appoint another person to be the Sultan. And since then, they have been having Sultan. Sultan is now considered as the symbol of Islam in Nigeria today. You can disagree with me. That's fine. And I think that is why you have brain, something upstairs. But you should be logical if you are going to disagree with me. That was what made who? Sultan of Sokoto today the head of all the Muslims in the entire Nigeria. That is the Uthman Dan Fodio alive. That's him. And that position he's holding, he is holding it because they killed everybody. You see, before 1804, the Fulanis then, they were traders. They will bring in their ads, trade, and then go back. But they were plotting. They were mingling with the locals. They were learning their languages. They were meeting with them. They were learning how they do things. And in 1804, a jihad was declared. And they crushed everybody. So if you see a Sultan of Sokoto anywhere today, that is Uthman Dan Fodio. If you Sultan of Sokoto, who is the symbol of Islam in Nigeria today, represents Uthman Dan Fodio, why are you surprised that when they decided to merge Nigeria as one, they gave them their deal. They gave them their space. Because they are the only people who came from among those who are actually the owners of the land, the tribes. They are the only people who came and crushed them and established an empire, a sultanate, a caliphate. And the teachings of Uthman Dan Fodio was what they were teaching every child. that was given birth to from that day onward to this day. This is something that is there, right? Now they gave them their deal. They formed Nigeria and the agenda of dipping the sword. Meanwhile, they could have done this peacefully. People will choose the religion anyway. Those who wants to be this, people have been chosen anyway. Why should we then pay with blood? Is the question. Because it is now more than just that believing in that faith. Despite believing, you are still considered an infidel. And you, who is a Muslim, tell me, who uses the word infidel the most? And who are those called infidels? How many of you moderate Muslims have done your best to educate people? How much of that effort has worked out compared to those who continue to tell the people about jihad? Jihad is holy. Jihad is holy. How long do you want to keep living in denial? Now, here is the problem. Right? In Nigeria, many of us considered everyone from the north a Muslim, which is so wrong. Quickly, Eniola Moronkeji, thank you so much for your super sticker and super chat. Good enough, I'm going to read this out quickly. I would have probably missed that because of the orders of comments coming up, okay? Maiyegun, I hope this madness, insecurity, kidnapping will not get to a point where they start to kidnap people straight from the airport. As the airplane is landing at Muritala Airport. Moronkeji, don't place a bet. It's going to get to that. It's going to get worse, right? Before it gets better. And getting better means people won't have to stay or stick to the same to the same arrangement that will put their lives in danger. Everybody will be alive then. Everybody will be ready to do everything, to break away from Nigeria. Now, why am I telling you all of this? When people tell you today that they now still need to spill blood, they have spilled lots of blood in northern Nigeria, middle belt, the people who are in the middle belt of Nigeria, the people of eastern Nigeria, the people of western Nigeria, they have spilled a lot of blood. And then you ask yourself, for what exactly? There's a video I'm going to share with you before we go fully into this, because this is us now getting ready into the full program. If you haven't shared this video, maybe you should share it now. And if you have already shared and you haven't really given that thumb up under the video, especially on YouTube, do it. And yeah, there is something. This man is dead now, right? But his words in this video, they sounded so kind of revealing. It was when Bukwari became the president-elect, and he was giving him an advice. And I want you to pick the words very, very carefully. I am somebody who listens to words very, very. You can speak 1,000 words, and I will only pick about 3 or 4 from them, analyze them, and I will actually understand everything you possibly think you have told me. And I want you to be the same. He used the words like justice, fairness, infidels, power. And I want you to pay attention how he used them in his statements. And I'll come back to it. He's a known man, but I believe you should find out.
A sense of direction when he was a military leader. This time around, I'm sure Allah has brought him to correct the ills of the past, to reform. But sir, it is easy, and you know it was easy when you were there as a military leader. But what made it easy? Justice. With justice, you can rule Nigeria well. Justice is the key. If you do justice to all and sundry, And I say all and sundry, because Allah said, فَإِذَا حَكَمْتُمْ بَيْنَ النَّاسِ أَنْ تَحْكُمُوا بِالْعَدْلِ. If you are going to judge between people, do justice, irrespective of their tribe, religion, or even political inclination. Justice must be done to whosoever deserves it. Power can remain in the hands of an infidel if he is just and fair, but it will not remain in the hands of a believer if he is unfair and unjust. Behind every crisis anywhere in the world is injustice. The solution to that crisis is justice. The world itself can never be governed by force, never by fear, even never by power. In the end, what governs is the mind, what conquers is the spirit, and the weapons of governing the mind and conquering the spirit are justice and fair play. Justice. I have always known you to be a man of justice. I ask you please to continue. Don't change. Don't compromise this justice with anything. May Allah help you. Mr. President, sir, you know what we have gone through. I am not asking you, and I know you will not, to discriminate against any part of Nigeria.
Mr. President, do justice. A power in the hand of an infidel. An infidel can rule a country better if it does justice than in the hand of who? The righteous. Who are the righteous? The people that don't steal, people that don't kill, people that don't discriminate, people that don't hate, people that will not be filled with revenge. They are supposed to be those who are righteous. Their own type of Islam that continue to kill and massacre. There's a video I'm going to share with you. Thank you so much for joining me, by the way, if you are just joining. It is the conversation around the ongoing genocide in Nigeria, a conversation initiated by the IPOB, the Biafrans all over the world, and so many other organizations, bringing this to the attention of the world. I want you to also listen, please, to the detail of the conversation the world knows. And we're not going to wait until we need to raise 800 million to free our own children. Let's get started with that.
The U.S. State Department still recognizes many important human rights issues in the nation. At the top of the list is a still strong Boko Haram terrorist group that has attacked government and civilian targets, resulting in thousands of deaths, the internal displacement of millions, and the creation of more than 300,000 external refugees. Meanwhile, both state and non-state actors commit extrajudicial killings, torture, and kidnapping. Freedom of expression, religion, and LGBT rights are heavily curtailed, and protests of these abuses are met with violent reprisals from government agencies. Today, we'll discuss what Congress and the United States can do about these abuses. We're joined by two experts on the subject from the U.S. House. Congressman Tom Suozzi of New York is a Democratic member of the Congressional Executive Commission on China. Congressman Chris Smith of New Jersey is the co-chair of the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission. They're joined today by Dr. Richard Ikiebi, the director of the Center for Leadership and Journalism in Lagos. We hope to have a great discussion, and moderating it today will be former Congressman Frank Wolf, a Republican from Virginia, who served with Congressman Smith in the House. Congressman Wolf, thank you for joining us today. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much. And I want to thank FMC and Pete Weidland and the entire staff for doing this. I also want to thank Congressman Smith and Congressman Suozzi for doing this. I am very grateful. Also, Dr. Ikebe for joining us from Nigeria. The recent April 2021 report by the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom cites the difficulties faced by people of faith in Nigeria and lists Nigeria as one of 14 countries of particular concern. It's what they call a country of particular concern designation. The report begins, quote, in 2020, religious freedom conditions in Nigeria deteriorated, with both state and non-state actors committing egregious violations of the right to freedom of religion or belief. Nigerian citizens face violence by militant Islamists and other non-state armed actors, as well as discrimination and arbitrary detentions and capital blasphemy sentences by state authorities. Nigeria is the largest country in Africa with about 219 million people. And by 2050, Nigeria will have a larger population than the United States. Genocide Watch has said that Boko Haram is committing genocide against children, especially girls it kidnaps to become sex slaves, and it forces boys to become child soldiers. It massacres police and others associated with the Nigerian government and commits war crimes against ordinary citizens. Genocide Watch also said that the Fulani militants in central Nigeria are committing crimes against humanity and genocidal massacres against Christians. The Islamic State of West Africa is also operating in Nigeria in the Lake Chad region. In April of 2014, Boko Haram garnered worldwide attention for kidnapping 276 Christian schoolgirls. The world responded with a hashtag Bring Back Our Girls Twitter campaign. But 7 years later, more than 100 of the girls are still missing. Since then, there have been numerous attacks against schools with kidnapping of many children. 4 American soldiers were killed in Niger, and the Nigeria Lake Chad region could become a breeding ground and staging area for attacks against the West for terrorism and the reinsurgence of ISIS into Iraq. In addition, we see hunger, millions of displaced persons living in squalid conditions, kidnapping for ransom, little or no education in some areas, government corruption, and human rights abuses by the military. Yet, we see very little reaction by governments in the West. In December of 2019, the Wall Street Journal carried a large article by Bernard Henry Levy, who said that what's happening in Nigeria could lead to a Darfur or a Rwanda. We know there was genocide in both Darfur and in Rwanda. He said when the world and the US ignored genocide in Rwanda, hundreds of thousands of people died. And could history be repeating itself? Many experts believe that Nigeria could implode. This would destabilize the surrounding countries and send millions of refugees into Europe and beyond. The Irish singer Bono actually said, if it unravels in Nigeria, it will be an existential threat to Europe and the world beyond. There are 350,000 to 400,000 Nigerian Americans who are concerned over the fate of their relatives back in Nigeria. The challenges faced in Nigeria are great. However, it is my firm belief that the United States and other Western nations have a vested interest in confronting one of the worst crises of our times. And keep in mind, we have sent millions and millions of dollars to Nigeria. Nigeria has been fractured, and many people think it has been forgotten. So we have genocide by Boko Haram, genocidal activity by the Fulani militants, rampant hunger. I look at the World Food Program statistics with regard to the country. Little or no education in parts of the country where young kids are getting no education. Sexual trafficking, there was a report of 15,000 women and girls being sexually trafficked alone in southern Italy. Massive government corruption, human rights abuses by the military, mass migration out of Nigeria, and we see really very little action taken by the West, and we see very little coverage by the Western media, except for the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. Just this morning, I read a report from World Magazine that says the following. It said Nigerians have left their country for the United States and Europe for decades. But in 2018, Pew Research Center took a poll in Nigeria to find out how many others might leave. 45% of the Nigerian population said they expected to, within the next 5 years, leave. They then interviewed a young woman named Emmanuel, and I'll just read briefly what she said. In 2019, nearly 13,000 Nigerians emigrated to Canada alone. And then she goes on to say the following. On top of the economic insecurity in Nigeria, she says she faced daily fears for her safety. She says Nigeria is really unsafe right now on several levels, especially in several communities where just your religion makes you a target. Here, it's not the first thing you think about when you meet someone. Nigeria is very, very unsafe. I know many times I used to be scared getting home after work. And every day it was just pray I get home safe. And I mean that in the most sincere way. And then it ends by saying, the report, that many of these same issues are pushing Nigeria's medical professionals to leave as well. The country only has 74,000 registered doctors for its 219,000 million people, and doctors and nurses are leaving. It's very serious.
Who's next, Frank?
Well, I'm going to ask a series of questions. First, I'll ask Dr. Becky, because he lives in Nigeria, from his perspective, what factors have gotten us to the crisis in Nigeria that we face today?
Thank you very much, Congressman, and I want to thank the organizers of this event. I think it has come at a very important time. I hope it will make some difference, and I hope it is not too late. What got us here is arrogance of the elite rulers and those who run the nation here in Nigeria. Arrogance that the problems that were so obvious 10, 15 years ago will just suddenly go away, and nobody took proactive action. What got us here is inability to see from a national perspective that we were faced with a problem that was so deep, so obvious for those who cared to see.
I'll continue with that. The other part where somebody actually presented another clearer, gory, detailed picture of what is going on. But let me bring you closer. Why are we doing this? It is because a guy like this is allowed to tell us that we are wrong to ask government to prosecute criminals, protect victims, and keep everybody safe. That's why we are doing it.
We are under pressure to fight government that has helicopters, is bombarding us. So you remove the pressure, the need for the money is there. When you go there, you don't see any luxurious life. You don't see any luxurious life at all. They are living in huts. They have nothing. They drink sometimes from the stream. So I don't think we can say that they are used to a luxurious life that they won't live it. Actually, they don't even know it with all the money they get.
Sheikh, like you said, they are under pressure. Government is bombarding them, and according to what you say, they are saying that it looks like they are under attack. So maybe they're acquiring weapons to protect themselves. But then again, if the pressure is that much, why don't they renounce banditry? And are they also considering the lives of those that they are also taking, and the lives of people that they are also making, unlivable?
Okay, you see, if they leave banditry, they will have source of financing their war machine.
Did you hear that? if they renounce banditry, they will not have money to finance their war machine. What war? And this war, who asked for it? And what is the purpose? What do they want?